Picture this: a city in ruins, the walls torn down, the gates burned to ash, and a people who have lived defenseless for over 140 years. Everyone agrees it cannot be fixed. The job is too big. There is no money. There is no army. There are enemies on every side who will kill to stop it. So what does it take to build the impossible with no budget, in a hostile environment, while powerful people are trying to destroy you? 2,500 years before the modern construction industry, before project management was ever a word, before a single business school existed, one man rebuilt the entire wall of Jerusalem in 52 days. 52 days. He started with nothing but a job pouring wine for a foreign king. He had no title, no capital, no crew, and no permission. His name was Nehemiah. And what he did in the book of Nehemiah is, almost step for step, the same playbook the greatest project leaders and founders use today to ship the impossible on time. By the end of this video, you will know the 4 exact moves Nehemiah made. Stay with me. Move number 3 is the one almost every leader gets wrong, and it is the reason most big projects collapse. Let me set the scene. The year is around 445 years before Christ. Jerusalem has been a broken city for generations. The Babylonians smashed its walls long ago, and even though some exiles have returned, the wall is still rubble. In the ancient world, a city without a wall was not a city. It was a target. No protection, no trade, no dignity, no future. Now meet our founder. Nehemiah is not a king. He is not a general. He is a cupbearer, a servant who tastes and pours wine for King Artaxerxes of Persia, the most powerful man on earth. It is a position of trust, but it is still a servant's job, hundreds of miles from home. Then his brother arrives with news from Jerusalem, and the book tells us in chapter 1 verse 4, when Nehemiah hears that the wall is broken and the gates burned, he sits down and weeps. He mourns for days. He fasts. He prays. Here is the first thing to understand before a single brick is laid. The greatest projects do not begin with a plan. They begin with someone who refuses to accept that the broken thing has to stay broken. Nehemiah was comfortable, safe, employed, and he wept over a wall he did not have to care about. Remember that. We will come back to why it mattered. This is move number 1. Before you break ground, you secure the backing. Nehemiah wanted to rebuild a city, but he was broke and powerless. So he went to the only source of capital he had access to, the king himself. But watch how he did it. He did not barge in. The book says he prayed for 4 months first, and then he waited until the king noticed his sadness. When Artaxerxes finally asked what he wanted, Nehemiah chapter 2 prayed a quick prayer and then made a precise, prepared ask. Not just permission to go, he asked for letters of safe passage so no one could stop him on the road. And then the masterstroke. He asked for a letter to the keeper of the king's forest to supply the timber for the gates, the walls, and his own house. He secured the financing and the supply chain in a single conversation. This is the founder raising around before writing a line of code. The dreamer asks for a chance. The builder asks for resources with the exact specifications, the route, and the materials already mapped. So here is my question for you. When the moment came, would you have the ask ready? Or would you still be dreaming when the door opened? Nehemiah walked in prepared, and he walked out funded. This is move number 2. Survey before you build. Most people, the moment they get the green light, rush in and start swinging hammers. Nehemiah did the opposite. He arrives in Jerusalem, and the book says he tells no one what he plans to do. He waits 3 days. Then, in chapter 2, he gets up in the night, takes a few men, and rides quietly around the broken wall in the dark. He inspects every collapsed section, every burned gate, every pile of rubble, with his own eyes before he says a word in public. He scopes the project completely before he commits to a timeline. This is the leader who walks the floor before announcing the strategy. who reads the code before promising the launch date. The amateur falls in love with the vision. The professional falls in love with the reality, the actual size of the problem, measured in the dark, where no one is watching and no one can argue. Only after Nehemiah knew exactly what he was dealing with did he gather the leaders and say, "You see the trouble we are in. Come, let us rebuild." They could not argue because he already knew the work better than they did. So ask yourself honestly, do you scope the real size of your problems before you promise an outcome? Or do you commit first and discover the rubble later, when it is too late to plan? This is move number 3, and it is the one almost every leader gets wrong. You distribute the ownership. Here is the trap. A wall around Jerusalem is enormous, miles of stone. One man cannot build it. A single crew cannot build it in 52 days. If Nehemiah had run it from the top, assigning every task himself, the project would have taken years and crushed him. So read what chapter 3 actually does. It is a list. Family by family, group by group, each one assigned the section of wall in front of their own house. The priests built their gate, the goldsmiths and perfume makers took their stretch. The rulers, the temple servants, even the daughters of one man, all building in parallel, each owning the piece nearest to them. Nehemiah did not build the wall. He turned the whole city into builders and gave every team a section they cared about because it was theirs. This is the principle of distributed ownership and parallel execution. The reason most big projects fail is the founder who tries to control everything and becomes the bottleneck. The great leader breaks the impossible into owned pieces, and the work happens everywhere at once. So here is the hard question. Are you still trying to build your wall alone, or have you learned to hand people a section and let them own it? This is move number 4, the move that protects everything you build. You defend the work with integrity, in one hand a tool, in the other a sword. The moment the wall started rising, the enemies came. Sanballat and Tobiah mocked them, then plotted to attack, then tried 4 times to lure Nehemiah away to a meeting to kill him, then spread lies that he was a rebel. Every form of sabotage, and here is how Nehemiah responded. Chapter 4, he posts guards and he arms the builders so that each one works with one hand and holds a weapon in the other. The work never stops, but it is never undefended. But there was a second enemy, the one inside. In chapter 5, Nehemiah discovers the rich nobles were charging crushing interest to their own starving people during the build, and he refuses to let it stand. He cancels the debts, and for 12 years as governor, he refuses to take the food allowance he was owed, because the people were already burdened. He would not get rich off the very work God called him to do. This is the move the ambitious always skip. Power and a deadline will tempt you to cut every corner and crush anyone in your way. Nehemiah guarded the project from enemies outside and from corruption inside. So I will ask you plainly, when you finally have the power to finish, will you protect the people the work was meant to serve? Or will you become the thing you set out to defeat? So here is the Nehemiah playbook, the first impossible project shipped on time, straight out of the book of Nehemiah. 1. Secure the backing. Before you break ground, walk in prepared and leave with the resources, the route, and the materials. 2. Survey before you build. Measure the real size of the rubble in the dark before you ever promise a date. 3. Distribute the ownership. Hand every team a section they care about, and the impossible gets built everywhere at once. 4. Defend the work with integrity. Guard it from enemies outside and corruption inside, a tool in one hand and a sword in the other. 52 days. A broken city made whole by a wine servant with no budget and no army, because he ran a system anyone can run. This is the ancient founders, where we decode the men and women God made great, one founder at a time. Next, we open the vault on Lydia, the first businesswoman in the New Testament, who built a trading empire in luxury purple. Tell me in the comments, which of the 4 moves is hardest for you to actually do? I read every one. Subscribe and let us uncover the next fortune together.